Let's try this one more again. What I would hope that is you would take notes for this video. Take a picture of your notes. Put it on your Instagram story. There we go. Put it on your Instagram story. And tag the Hood Mystic so I can share it on my Instagram story. And really get this message out, because it's really in your note taking. It's really in you getting in the habit of writing as opposed to thinking, because thinking and writing are two separate modalities. Writing helps you channel your thoughts, clear your thoughts, and this actually it allows for divinity to take place. So if you find yourself in a frustrated place in your life, it's mainly because you haven't been writing. I can guarantee you that you haven't been writing lately if you're frustrated. You haven't been journaling if you've been frustrated. That's just facts. Because the thing about emotions is that they do come, but it's what do you do with your emotions? Do you have an outlet for your emotions, or do you let your emotions fester in your being and then bring them to the surface at the inopportune time? So let's talk about this new moon in Pisces, which represents a relief of a cycle. Now, what cycle have you been on since March of 2020? If you can remember where your life took a turn for at March of 2020, then you will understand what cycle is coming to an end, and also the relief of that cycle coming to an end. What I was about to say. I don't remember what I was about to say, but yeah, what we're talking about is Pisces energy. I guess I was thinking about how people like to differentiate between a new moon and Aries, and my question is why do you say that a new moon is in Aries outside of looking online or looking at things? I would say that the reason that I'm choosing to say that a new moon is in Pisces is because I'm looking at astronomical devices that are not trying to lie to me or tell me things that are not apparent, right? So outside of just it's not the map is not trying to tell me that the new moon is in Pisces. I can make that observation that the new moon is in Pisces, versus I can make that that's an understanding if you just look at an astronomical device and measure the sun and the moon and see what sign they are in, and then you could get an understanding of the accurate energy. So a background of what astrology is, it is the actual sun, it is the actual moon, and the constellation that is actually in matters, because a constellation is a tent. So if you imagine the sun is an actual light beaming down into Earth, whatever constellation that it is the tent that it has to shine through. So these things are good at telling time, but it's also a good psychological device to help us get into our own personal cycles, because we are nature beings. It's very important that you take notes if you can take notes, because if you can understand these things from a outward, inward perspective, you will understand this message, and it wouldn't be how long the video is or what I'm actually talking about, but you would have some form of your intentions and your rituals moving into this new moon cycles. So new moons represent the beginning of a cycle. Pisces represents the end of a cycle. So at one level, you are starting something, and at another level, you are leaving an energy, and you will never return to this energy ever again. So this creates a joyous celebratory energy for those who are in alignment. And for those who are not in alignment, that just don't operate in cyclical time, they operate in a longitude latitude time, whereas things just stack upon each other. Well, you're feeling the weight of your ignorance. So the idea is to release or have some form of relief. When you talk about Pisces, you're also talking about cups or emotions, which represent how you feel, but the true cup is the yoni. The yoni is how you really feel, because your womb is a consciousness. As a man, I do not have a yoni. I do not have a wife. I mean, I do have a wife, but I don't have a womb. I don't have a yoni. So this is why I would have to have a wife, because my wife is my access. My wife is my portal to the divine. But that's not an end all be all, because she, my wife, and all women have to let go of their earthly and human emotions and connect to their divinity. Because if you don't connect to your divinity, you connect to your humanity, and your humanity has all types of fear attached to it. Not your personal fear. It could be your ancestors' fear. It could be your neighbor's fear. It could be your cultural fear. It could be your religious fear. Fear in general. So the idea of a new moon in Pisces is to release. We talked about this in previous videos, but Pisces rules the lymph nodes. You don't know much about your lymph nodes because your lymph nodes are constantly releasing. When do you know about your lymph nodes? When they are not releasing, then you have a problem. Thus, sometimes our biggest problem is what we hold on to. So this is where you get into toxicity. Toxicity doesn't exist so much in air and earth and fire. Even though it doesn't exist so much so than it exists in water. Toxic water, toxic emotions. So new moon intentions and rituals can either be in alkaline, purity, nature, or toxic, poisonous, man-made. Okay, so I have 4 things of showing you what purity is to bring you into alignment with alignment, not alignment. You might want alignment, but I digress. I'm aligned. Never mind. Anyways, I lost my train of thought that quick, thinking about being somebody's lineman. But anyways, purity, alkaline, nature, toxic, poisonous, man-made. When you look at new moon in Pisces energy, you have to understand that what you are about to create, you shouldn't bring in negative emotion baggage into a new manifestation. Okay? So, purity is well-being. Holding on to emotions, no matter what emotions, positive emotions, because connected to positive emotions are negative emotions, because if you don't have that positive emotion, you're going to be in a negative emotions. And sometimes you can have that positive emotion or positive thing, but you will be afraid of losing it. And that creates dread and fear and anxiety, and you got the thing that you want. So even for the rich person, even for the sexy person, letting go, purity is well-being. Purity is knowing limits. Purity is doing one thing. Purity is me sitting at the park, looking at the river, and just chilling. I got a lot of shit on my plate right now, but right now I'm doing one video. I'm sitting at one park. I'm sitting at one car. I'm referring to one note. I'm not thinking about a multitude of things. Them multitude of things can kiss my ass. My phone is on do not disturb. If I could cut it on airplane mode and do this live, I would. However, I can't. But with all that being said, purity is knowing that one thing that you're doing. Stop telling me all the shit that you're doing. What you do. Oh, I do a lot of shit. That's not actually doing nothing. When somebody say that they do a lot, when somebody say they doing everything, I don't care how spiritual they are. I don't care how high and mighty they are toxic. Purity is well-being. Purity is knowing your limits. Purity is not doing everything, trying to wear every hat, trying to be everything to everybody. Purity is being satisfied with your body. I'll explain. Being unsatisfied is toxic. And the reason why being unsatisfied is toxic is because we do not know our limits. Thus, we do not know how to be in a space of well-being. We think that the more that we do, the better. The more money we have, the better. No financial goals, no financial literacy, no investment strategy. However, the more money we think, as long as we can get some more money, we'll work ourselves out. And that don't really add up when you actually think about it. So, purity is nakedness. But it's hard to get to a space of nakedness. And this is emotionally, and this is in a space between intimate relationship. This is not between me and you. Like, Hood, you said purity is naked and you ain't on your live naked. What's up with that? No, I'm talking about between you and your goddamn relationship. I'm talking about the person that you lay on your bed with, that you hear fucking snore and fart in the nighttime. We talking about being naked. But you can't be naked in your relationship when you unsatisfied with your body because you are disconnected from your womb. I'm going to show you how men love you, because a man ain't never turned down no pussy, no matter how much body shaming you did. He ain't never said, girl, look at that. I ain't trying to hit none of that. He bent that ass over and went to work. He never turned no pussy down, because the womb is the access to the divine, which the divine feminines have just by the fact of being alive. This is why it don't matter what you actually look like. It matters how satisfied you are with your body. That's very important, because as much money as y'all have, be a lot of caparoni for the fact that you ain't satisfied with your body. The places that you go, be big caparoni for you not being satisfied with your body. The degrees that you have, the jobs that you apply to, the certifications, the rooms, the conversations, all big caparoni for being satisfied with your body. I mean, all of the psychic readings and all of the rigmarole, you can solve a lot of that by being what, ladies? Satisfied with your body. However it looks like, that is purity. And it's not real hard. Being unsatisfied is toxic. And it's like, Hood, why are you talking to the ladies? Because I need my ladies to understand this. Because a nigga gonna fuck you regardless. Y'all gonna have boyfriends regardless. Y'all gonna have niggas that y'all date with regardless. But y'all don't understand this about astrology and connecting astrology to your body. Y'all want to just talk about a whole bunch of shit in reference to personal life, which can come and go. Your body is here to stay, my nigga. How you feel about your body is definitely here to stay. So we're still in the energy of a new moon in Pisces, and we're talking about the sun and the moon. We're talking about the influence of your external and internal at the same time. And so we want an advancement and enhancement of our situations, but we want an advancement and enhancement through shadow work, which would be simply the truth of a situation, circumstance that you are now moving from. But you can't move from something and not move into nothing. So you got to have both of those things in your journal. What are you letting go and where are you headed? Because you can't just be headed nowhere. And I know you want an easy route. I know for a fact you want an easy route. But see, Sun in Pisces is just not easy. It's not easy because it's a culmination of every single energy. And a lot of times you got a lot of soul searching and a lot of shadow work to do. You got to get to a place of purity. You got to get to a place of knowing that you're divine, and the money that you make does not make you divine. The places that you go do not make you divine. The goals and ambitions and the shit that you set for yourself, it just mean that you're retarded. It mean that you drunk the Kool-Aid and you think that if you do something externally, you will be validated internally, and you can do it till you turn blue in the face. But purity, that's internal. Purity, that is shadow work. Purity is truthful. Purity is not having a lock on your door. Purity is not having clothes on. That's how you actually are. Everything in society is not actually, if I can buy something, that don't mean shit. Because you could be a fucking murderer and buy the same outfit as you, and you would be looking like a fucking murderer because everything is for sale. So that has nothing to do with astrology. What could we actually be talking about that could actually be tangible in relation to our life? It would have to be our body. So another place that we're talking about is deep in the bowels for my fellas out there, right? You can't think because your subconscious mind is a mind too, and you don't do no cleansing. You eat buffalo wings and Hennessy every fucking day. Fucking idiot, boy. Wondering why you can't think straight. It's all in your diet, young man. So we dealing with the shadow, the truth, the lower bowels, the uterus, the womb, ancestors, yonis, wives, marriages, all of that. And this is a true, and being true in these situations and not being Caparini, not saying, well, let's have a goal and let's have money and let's have something existential to validate our union, but let's not have the real conversation about why the fuck we're here. I'm your access to the God realm. This pussy is the access to the God realm. Period. But I don't think of my womb or my uterus to be the access of the God realm. I just think that I got some good pussy. I just think that I got some good head. I just think I can fuck a nigga to sleep. Never once do we access the gods and the angels and the demons and the fairies or none of that shit. Because we worried about the rent and all of this existential human shit. So it's a lot of work to be done. Purity, inspiration leads to listening to the soul. Listening to others is actually giving you the wrong direction. How are you going to tell me where to go? First of all, you don't know where I'm at. You don't know where I'm trying to go. I'm not even listening to you. You're just talking to talk. And the one thing we need to understand about Pisces and the new moon in Pisces and your intentions is that your intentions have power. Power sound good when I'm saying it, but power could be used positively and negatively. And what do I mean when I say that? Electricity is good when it's in your goddamn house, but when you got a fucking electrical wire and you cut it and you start waving it around, you might shock a nigga to death. Now it's bad. And I use that to say to my ladies out there with your toxic emotions and your toxic feelings, and you dealing with all facts. Yes, everything that you feel is valid. I'm not invalidating your feelings, but I'm giving you the scientific measure on your negative feelings, emotions, and thoughts. There are electrical wire going awry, and you need to direct that negative energy and channel it. Period. You can use it positively or you can use it negatively. And my suggestion, the reason that I'm here is because my wife loves me. Love opens up doors. So, what are you going to do in the realms of love, starting love, creating love, being love? Or are you going to continue the negative emotional baggage from your toxic relationships that didn't work out? Or are you going to open new doors, start new seasons, start new relationships, have beautiful, prosperous relationships? Because that's all that fucking matters. If you fucking create some magical invention, but ain't nobody rubbing your booty at night, ain't nobody gonna give a fuck about that invention. So love somebody, love yourself. Don't be a fucking loner loser in 2022. But yeah, just a little quick message. I'll see y'all on the flippy flip. Peace.